Hey, there we go. We're live. Hello, everyone. Hello, Shawn. How are you
Hello,
guys
Chris.
doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right.
And welcome to episode 10 of our podcast for November 24th, 2021. We made it to double digits, Chris. We
We
actually survived that
did.
long.
I I'm glad we did. We made it at 10 episode anniversary. I don't have a cracker too.
Cracker.
Yeah, one of those
Oh, that
Christmas
thing.
crackers or
Okay.
the poppers that you pull.
Right. No, when you said cracker, the first thing that popped in my head was like The Simpsons, like, crackers are our family food. You're letting me go after 20 years? So long? Good luck. I don't recall saying good luck.
Yeah, right. Oh, Mr. Van Houten.
Yes.
I can't remember his first name. Was it Kirk?
Yes, Kirk Van Houten.
I
When he
sleep
gets
in a
fired from the cracker factory.
I sleep in a car bed. Do you?
I sleep in a big bed with my wife. Oh,
Oh, yes. No, that's not what I meant. I did not mean an edible cracker. I meant a celebration cracker. Except maybe
okay.
not the cheap ones from the dollar store. If you've
Wait,
ever,
there's cheap ones. There's cheap ones at the dollar store. I never knew
oh,
that.
there's soup. Like I've never
Huh.
actually used one, but apparently good ones. When you pull them, there's a loud, popping sound. And
Hmm.
at the dollar store, they have cheap versions of that where you might hear the popping sounds and probably smell more burning than anything.
How's it taste, Ralph? Good.
It tastes
It
like
tastes
burning.
like burning. Anyways, that's like two old Simpsons references in like 2 minutes. So
Yes, but they're from the
probably
good seasons.
yes. Anyways, so what have you been up to, Chris? What's new?
You want me
I
to
kind of
go?
know, but go
Yeah,
ahead and just.
kinda. So, Super Sentai, it's going good. It's not much I'll say really. They're they're about to, I think, introduce the next kind of villain or like escalate the threat, but it's good. I like it so far. I think Red, at least at the beginning, was kind of a wiener kid. You know, like a overachiever kind of leader. Maybe like what Raphael thinks Leonardo is in the Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
kind of like overbearing and like you guys have to do this and this and this is how we train and just pisses everyone off. But he's chilled out since that. But it's good. And I beat Metroid Dread. I beat on stream.
Congrats.
It's
Yeah,
probably my top five games I've played this year.
I was about to mention that you tweeted that. I'm like, wow, this is very surprising because you don't generally or at all play Metroid games. Well, Metroidvania games, I should say.
Yeah,
So to hear you say that is honestly a bit of a shock to me.
it was really great. The ending scene was awesome. I like the bit of story they added in. I kind of wish that they would maybe do, I don't know. Someone suggested this on my streams that as we were getting near the end that it'd be nice if Nintendo would release like a manga or maybe a prequel game from the side of one of the other characters to kind of explain more because I want more lore as to with about Samus and her backstory. I want more other than the little snippets you see. It,
Um,
yeah, go on.
some of the other Metroid games have that, so I think you
It's
know they're assuming you know that as a player,
maybe,
probably.
but this is more specifically for her and the Chozo. And
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything because when you jumped in, it was like the final thing
Hmm.
again. I was like, don't watch. Just go away from stream if you want to lurk, but just don't watch because they dropped some stuff that I don't, as far as I know, aren't in the other games. And I want backstories to exactly what it was, right? Who she is
Um,
or what there's maybe some of the other games went into that. I'm sure that they dropped a lot of hints in other games or in this game to tell you what you need to know. It's just I would like that, more simplified and shown to me, maybe in a graphic novel form. You don't need a whole game for it.
it's funny because like
Mm.
years ago they actually did do a manga of Samus and her backstory about. So she was just a normal girl living on Zebes,
In
which is like
a
of
living in a backwards town,
what's that?
living in some backwards town. Mild.
Uh, Not really
I was
because
trying to
like
think of the lyrics of that fucking song. Who's just a hometown girl?
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
let's just
sorry,
pretend
my
that didn't happen.
reference kind of fell flat since I
Anyways,
forget the lyrics.
yeah. No, but like they did a manga like Ridley killed her parents. If you remember who Ridley is, the big dragon, Chris.
Yes.
And Mother Brain was originally, well, she was created by the Chozo, but she was originally just there to help them, and she betrayed them for the space pirates who took over Zebes.
Mm,
And with both of Samus's parents dead, the Chozo kind of adopted her and kind of took her into their society, gave her like literal transfusions of Chozo blood, gave her technology, trained her to be a warrior, that sort of thing. I know that that's probably very generalized, not really
mm.
what you're looking for specifically, but they did have in the
Okay.
past. So
So they do go
yeah.
into some of that. There might be some other, I guess, without saying anything, they did show some other things or say some things that may change it slightly, not change, but add more to it. So I guess if they've already gone into that, especially in that little manga, I would very much like to see this manga and read it for myself. Well, you
And
say it was manga, right? Sorry.
some of it was manga, some of it is Metroid Zero Mission, which is a remake of the
Okay.
first game.
So I should definitely have to pick that one up. And
Yeah, it's the easiest of the Metroid games.
Zero Mission was the
Zero
Game
Mission
Boy game? No,
was Advance, I believe.
Game Boy
I could be
Advance.
wrong. I'm no, I'm pretty sure it was a Game Boy Advance. I'm pretty sure it was, but I could be wrong with that. But yeah, so they remade like the first game, Chris, without the map and with everything looking the same in the Nintendo version. And to add to the fact that it was a Nintendo game, so it was notoriously difficult, which is fine because
Mm,
for the time, right? That's how
yeah.
people had replay values in the game during that time. But the thing that I hate about the original Metroid is there's no map, and like you can get lost, and there's not really a good way to kind of differentiate the
Mm,
landmarks because a lot of the rooms in the zone look exact like 100% the same. So
yeah.
it's in the heat of combat when you're trying not to die, you start with like 30 energy in that game.
Mm.
That's that's not very
I
much.
remember telling you that I couldn't get around it because of the map, and there might be a digital like what do you call it, instruction booklet on the Switch. I didn't look, but I was playing it on the Switch, the original, and got
Well,
the super missiles and was trying to open the doors. Going, why don't they open up with one missile? And then you
mhm.
told me you have to use all your missiles to open up like five. I'm like, you only start with
Five,
five.
yeah.
So
uh
I could get, I was so confused and there's no map and I was just so upset
mhm.
with it. So like, fuck this game.
Yeah, it was very cryptic, right? Red
Mhm.
doors require 5 missiles or one super missile, and the green door, at least in Super Metroid, requires one super missile. Yellow doors require one super bomb, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no, they kind of fixed all that for Metroid Zero Mission, and in fact, they add on to the game once you beat Mother Brain, a new zone, a new part of the planet actually opens up that's exclusive to this version of the first game. So yeah, she gets new powers and all that. That's where Zero Suit Samus actually comes from. Because once you meet Mother Brain, you know how there's the whole countdown thing.
Mhm.
So she flies away in the ship. You get back to your ship and she flies away. And that was the end of the first game. But in the second game, well, not second game, but in the remake, they have her so space pirates shoot her ship down back onto the planet. And I won't say why, but she's like pretty much naked. Like she doesn't have like power suit. She just
Mhm.
has there's Zero Suit. That's why it's called Zero Suit, both because of the game, Metroid Zero Mission, and because she doesn't have a suit technically. That's just like a skin tight piece of
Yeah.
clothing essentially with a stun gun that has a cooldown. like it has a cooldown. First of all, you can't you can't fire until it's fully charged, and it only stuns, doesn't kill.
Mhm.
So yeah, she's pretty weak, honestly, but you're just trying to survive at that point. So yeah, it's pretty. It's a very unique section, but I think you should play that. It has a little bit of backstory that you're looking for.
Yeah, I want to play through all of them. I just don't want to have to go back to the NES version or the
Yeah.
original Game Boy. Was it Game Boy, Game Boy Color version? I'll go to the ones after that because they seem to fix some issues that people had. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'll have to do those. And I started up playing. Well, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out, the remakes. They're faithful remakes, I guess, with some new features. Or not new features, but quality of life stuff that were added into new games. And I'm doing Nuzlocke. I beat the
Yeah.
second gym last night.
I had to Google once I went on your stream, like, what the hell is Nuzlocke? I'm like, oh wow, there's like a lot of variations of this. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's oh, excuse me, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, for our viewers, it's permadeath. So if a Pokemon faints, you have to either release them or put them in a bank to never be used during that playthrough again. So essentially, they're dead for the playthrough, but you don't have to like kill them off. You can still like keep the Pokemon in general for use in like the Pokebank eventually, right?
Mm.
But the other limitate the major limitation is you're only allowed to catch Pokemon, I believe, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time you enter an area, and only that Pokemon. Like if you run into an Abra, you have to capture that Abra. Only the first Pokemon per zone you're allowed to capture. Otherwise, you're not allowed to capture anything, right?
Yeah, but I get some extra rules. Like if I run into a shiny, if it's the first Pokemon in the area and it happens to be shiny, I gotta catch it and use it. But if it's any other shiny, I'm going to catch it so I could send it to my bank. But it won't get used in the run. The other, since this is my first Nuzlocke I'm doing, I've got another rule that if I go to a run, like let's say the first two zones, whatever I got, the bird Pokemon and the Rattata, what is it, Bidoff. But I go to the third zone and I keep running into Bidoff. I could keep passing on him until I meet a Pokemon I haven't seen yet, just so I have more variety in the Pokemon. But that means I can't capture Bidoff for the rest of the round because I've already caught one. And I've already got two Pokemon dead.
Rip, rip.
One died to gym trainer, like not the leader, but one of his trainers. It was my bird Pokemon he was sent out, and I was facing, I think it was the rock gym, and he just threw a rock at him and one shot him. I'm like, well, there goes him. He's gone. Cars is dead. He didn't even get to fully evolve or to reach the limit of his bird-like powers.
Ay,
And
ay, 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 like from
yes, like
so on Chris's Cars is named after a JoJo character from the second season, and that's kind of like their song is called the Pillar Man song. So
well, I'm sure it has a different name, but that's what everyone calls it because they're the Pillar Men. But yeah, I named him after that Cars, after his final evolution, or yes, I guess it would be his kind of final form before the fight or whatever. But yeah, and I also had Macho King, named after Macho Man Randy Savage, after he won the King of the
yeah,
Ring, and he didn't even get to reach his second form before he died. He got killed by a clown. I went to the TV station, ran into one of the clowns, and he just started an impromptu fight against me. And I think he like one shot my my guy because he sent out not Abra, a Mr. Mime.
psychic.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I was like, oh, it's just Mr. Mime. I could take him out, and he just one shot. I'm like, oh right, psychic,
yeah,
strong against my fighting type
yep,
Pokemon. Yep, this is bad. And looked through my list. I'm like, I don't have anything that's strong against psychic, really. Like, well, I hope he doesn't hit as hard my other guys. But he was
on
kind of derp and didn't really use anything strong since then. He was just doing like light screen, I think, and other stuff. So I
honestly,
liked
sorry,
art.
I was gonna say the Pokemon you lost weren't. It's not such a big deal. Like maybe thematically it is, but like you have a fighting type through your monkey through your starter, right?
Yeah, he is.
So there's that, and then you lost a kind of a flying type, but you also have a normal type through Bidoof already, or so.
Yeah, I get
It's not
that.
that big of a deal, right?
It's not, and I've got flying types. I got Zubat, so he's
There you go.
flying dark. Is that what it is? So
Did they
and he
change Zubat? He used to be poison flying in the
okay,
original.
yeah, sorry, poison flying, but he does learn. He can learn dark attacks. Sorry, for some reason I
Okay.
was thinking I got
Well,
I got it
sometimes
wrong.
they retcon Pokemon. Like Clefairy used to be like a normal type in the
Now it's
very
fairy.
first Pokemon game. Now it's Fairy,
Yeah,
right? So
but
I don't know.
fairy
That's
didn't.
what I was asking you.
Yeah, fairy didn't obviously didn't exist then, so it makes sense to
Yeah.
change Clefairy. So she'd either be fairy or normal fairy or whatever, right? So, but
Hmm.
yeah, I think Zubat's still the same. I just confused dark and poison because I couldn't remember if poison was his main or
Right.
not. But yeah, the run's going all right. I guess I just have to spend a little bit of time grinding up the levels of my other guys. and just level them up a bit more. But my guys are sitting around somewhere between 15 and 20, I think, which I think is normal for where I am now. So we'll
Yeah,
keep going. I'm just gonna do a little bit of leveling up of my lower level guys off stream here when I'm not. So try to keep as much of the grinding I can off stream and do the progression in the game on stream. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing from what I can remember.
and something I had to ask you
Hmm.
was, do you have an experience all item, or is that something they changed? And apparently, starting from for last game, Sword and Shield, apparently all your Pokemon gaining experience after battle is just like a thing now that they changed. So
Yes.
basically, permanent experience all, which I honestly don't know how I feel because it makes the game much easier that way,
Hmm.
right? Because you don't need to worry about leveling Pokemon, like about who's getting the experience. Just it's like a normal RPG. Your whole party gets experience out, even if they don't do a goddamn thing, right?
Hmm.
So there's a very easy way to level up Pokemon now. I'm assuming they don't, because it's a permanent feature. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. They don't Your experience doesn't get reduced at all, because that's how the old experience item or experience all item worked. Like all your Pokemon would get experience, but like the experience was like cut like in half by 50%. But I'm assuming that's not the case now because you can't turn it off, right?
I want to say the Pokemon that are in the battle do get more experience, I think, and then the rest get, a unified shared experience or whatever. But I did not actually look at how much experience they each get. So
Okay,
I believe it's very similar to the other ones. It's just if you participate, you get a bit more. I
makes sense.
it makes sense. But I kind of wish like I really like having that feature. I hate having to like pre-level up, send out my Magikarp and then send them back immediately, and then send out a different Pokemon just to level him up.
Hmm.
Um, but I do kind of wish that there was an option in the options to turn off experience share. When they first added in the experience share option, it was a thing that you opt into. You would turn it on or off. I think was that in black and white or X and Y. It was in one of those that they put it in, and it was something that you turned on and off. So you can opt in and out. Now it's in. Now you don't have an option. It's just on. It's if there is an option to turn it off, I haven't found it. But there are lots of other quality of life stuff. Like you were saying, it seemed a little bit easier now that you could see if a week or derp. Give me one sec. You can now see if a move is effective or ineffective or normal in terms of damage. And that's a feature they've had in a few of the other games. But I was telling you that only if you've caught the Pokemon or have encountered it before, then you start to get more information of them because you've registered them in your Pokedex, which
Hmm.
makes more sense in a way. I would expect either if you've used certain moves against them, you should maybe get that uh, information, or if you have the Pokemon in your bank, you get a lot more info. I don't know how people would feel about that, but I do think it's a nice feature, especially with all the how often they've changed certain Pokemon's abilities and what they're weak and strong against sometimes, or add new uh, types into the games, right? Especially if you go to the new game. There's what, 12, 13, 14 types, or probably more now? There's a lot. So I think that's a nice feature that they kept in.
I know originally in the first gen game there was 15 types. I think they've added three over the years: Steel, Fairy, and Dark.
Was it only three? Wow.
So there's
I
18
I
now, I
feel like
believe.
that there's more, but I mean,
Unless if they added more. Like
I
I know for a fact there was 15. That was the
okay.
magic number when the first game, the very first game just launched. There was 15 different types. I know they added at least those three I mentioned: Steel, Dark, and Fairy.
Yeah,
Aside from that, I'm not sure.
I think those are the only three that I can remember. Because we're obviously not going to include legendary and mythic into that, because that's
Sorry, did I say? Yeah, I was correct. I was correct.
yeah,
Never mind.
steel, dark fairy or whatever yeah. Anyway, I think those are the only ones. I can't remember any others, but I swear there was more, but I don't remember.
And you know what also disappointed me, and I commented this on Chris's stream when it happened in real time. He was fighting against a trainer randomly who challenged him, and he threw out an Onyx. I'm like, oh sweet, let's see how big it is in this game. The Onyx was barely bigger than the human,
Yeah,
and if you actually look at the data from the first few Pokemon games, Onyx is supposed to be like a fucking giant, like he was when Ash challenged Brock back in like episode like what 4, a Pokemon
mm,
like 00004.
In
You know,
in the overworld of Pokemon Sword and Shield, Wilmer and Onyx are more closer to their actual size.
I'm not sure who Wilmer is, but
Yeah, it's the giant whale. Star Trek 2.
oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
Oh, that's what the whale's called. Okay.
yeah. There's another, I don't remember what the other one's name is, but there's the whale, and then he's got an evolution, which is an even bigger whale. But yeah, when you wander on the overworld map, like the Onyx looks more closer to what his size should be, and so does the Wilmer. And that's, but you could like in that game, you can have your Pokemon like a Pokemon follow you, and if you choose like Wilmer, he's not that big compared to what he was in the overworld map when you ran into him. Like, this is a lie. I wanted a giant whale just to cover the whole screen. Come on.
You know, if you're streaming right now and you had the channel point reward, I would be like disappointed, you know, because that's
Yes.
very disappointing. That's extremely disappointing to hear. Honestly, I get why they did that to make battles more smooth, more consistent in terms of like let's not make like two humans like this, like maybe Pokemon like this, and like a big ass Pokemon like this. It'd be
Mm,
like you'd have to zoom out the camera. Like so I understand that aspect, but it's still very disappointing because like I'm sorry, it's lore from the very first Pokemon game
yeah.
that Onyx is supposed to be that big. Like height and weight has always been a thing when you capture Pokemon. And Onyx's height, I don't remember the exact number. I can probably Google it really quick, but it's supposed to be fucking huge.
Yeah, he's supposed to be pretty big. Another change that they did in this game is, oh, what was it now? Oh, you remember you would in the old games you'd have to make an HM slave. So
Yes.
in this
Yes.
game, that's not a thing anymore. So you still get the moves for like cut and rock smash and that, and you can teach them to your Pokemon. But when you use there's a little app on your Kotick watch, the thing that gives you all these different stats and abilities that you can look at. Um, you can access that to use the HMs, and basically they say when you use uh, this app to use an ability, it'll ask or basically call it to a nearby Pokemon to do that move for you. So like if you're in the cave and you use it, it'll call a random bit off or something to come smash the rock for you.
I mean, I welcome that change, but it's weird that they're doing it now, and it's weird that's how they're doing it, right? Like,
It
they're
is, but it's a nice change because it's nice not having to have an HM slave with you. Because now,
that's true.
even though those moves aren't useless, it was dumb having one Pokemon set aside to have four of those abilities, and then
Yes.
you know.
I
So
mean, and I remember in the very first Pokemon game, there's five of them. Flash, you only need like for an area, but other than that, you needed cut to progress. You needed Surf to progress.
Rock Smash.
Fly, yeah, you need a Rock Smash to progress. Fly, you technically did not need, but it was your version of like teleporting across the world, which
Yeah,
obviously you want, right? So you have to find a Pokemon who's like a flyer, who's strong enough for strength, who can surf as well, and
uh,
who can cut.
I
It's
want to say
like
Rattata could do most of those. I always put like as much as I could on the Rattata, and then put Fly on Charizard because
I
Fly's a
I did
good
not
move.
I did not waste that slot on Charizard because HMs once you put them on, at least in the older games, you cannot remove them. So I'm like, I can't screw up his moveset by doing that. So because he's the ultimate Pokemon, Chris, I don't want to make him s- unsuperior, you know.
Well, it was always a
So
decent flying move. At least, like I don't remember if I put on in the originals, but in the remakes and that I did because you could have them forget that move, right? So there was less hesitation in the older games to put it on him, and
in
it's
the
a
original
decent flying technique too. So
in the original game, I had a Kingler because he knew Cut. Obviously, he's a crab. He could surf, and he was strong enough for strength. So I'm like,
yeah, he's another
That's
one.
that's who my and surf is actually like a really good water move. I don't
Hmm.
want to say the best, but it's like at least back in the day, it was like top tier, like best second place, I think.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was pretty good. So some of the others, like obviously the early ones, they don't want to give you superpower like Rock Smash or Cut, right? Because those are like
Mhm.
usually the first ones you get. But Surf and Fly are like late game or later game, we should say. So they make them a lot more powerful than they should
So
than you'd expect.
really quick, I looked up according to Bulbapedia, Onyx is nearly supposed to be on average 9 meters.
You should look up Whalmer and his evolution.
Is his name actually Wilmer?
Whelmer or Whale Lord. Well Lord is the bigger one, I think.
Whale. Okay, I'm spelling the word whale and it's not popping up. So how would you spell it?
Uh, I'd have to look it up because I don't remember.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead. You're saying
I don't remember what I was saying. It's WAI Lord, Way Lord, or Y
W
Lord,
W was that W what?
AI Lord.
Uh-huh. Lord. Is this like the evolution or the
This is
pre-evolution?
the evolution.
Okay, okay. Holy shit. 14 and a half meters is the height. Or just over 47 feet. Weight is almost 400 kilos or 877 pounds.
Wow, that's not that. He doesn't seem that that heavy or that. I mean, obviously 14 meters is quite big, but that doesn't seem that heavy, really.
Imagine
For a
surfing on
whale,
that.
he's only like 800 pounds, or yeah, 900 pounds.
Yep.
Oh, he's really light for a big boy, isn't he?
Well, what do you think about it? Most of their counterparts in real life, the Pokemon are like smaller. Like you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just talking about weight. Like he's a fucking whale. He's supposed to. He should be huge. He sh-
Technically he is, right?
uh,
He
uh,
is the largest
yeah,
one.
but he's not that heavy. But maybe because he seems to be able to just fly in the air.
Oh
When
my
you,
god. Whalmer with his teeth looks like a
he has those grills, those whale grills.
he he looks like a asshole, honestly. Waylord is fine, but like Waylord is like murking, you know what I mean? He's like it's like he just farted or something. He's like
Yeah,
looking at you when he's doing it. You know
he's
what I
got
mean?
that
It's like
cheeky.
yes,
Like he's getting away with something grin.
exactly.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I like him.
I like Waylord better. So I was telling Chris, there's a screenshot. You guys may have seen it. Basically, in Pokemon Go, someone named their Whalmer like Star Trek 2 or something because it looks like the Enterprise in that game. Anyways, we can move on.
Yeah, I
Anything else?
think
Anything else for you,
that's
Chris?
pretty much it. I haven't gotten around to doing anything else really, other than being busy at work and being dead ass tired. I've been so tired this week.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
any chance I get, I've been struggling to stay awake when I need to be awake. So, but that's it. What about you? What have you been up to this week?
So honestly, just like you, I just been working and I haven't really done much except playing games and streaming. Honestly, so what have I been playing? Just on Friday, this last Friday, I started the next Freddy's game. I'm on number 5, although they call it Five Nights at Freddy's sister location.
Hmm.
It's it's different. It's different from the first few games. There's actually voice acting.
Is that the
It's
one
not.
where you actually move from location to location?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So it's very different.
Hmm.
It's not like survive for 6 hours in your office with security cameras and power or anything like that anymore. It's just basically every night feels different. Like it's entirely different. You have to do different things, different locations, and yeah, different ways to die if you're not careful. Uh, Continuing the Hollow Knight playthrough, so that's going fairly well. Yeah, Hollow Knight's like the biggest Metroidvania I've ever played, the
I've
longest one as
seen
well.
you play a little bit of it. I've seen Eris. I don't remember their
Buck,
full name. Eris Bach, sorry. Seen
yeah,
Eris Bach
he's
playing through that, and he's been on it for a few weeks already. And every time
yeah,
I ask him, how far are you in? He's like, I have no idea anymore. I'm like, okay, I'll just sit back and watch then. It's a huge game.
it is. I'm playing it blind without any help, and I have the achievements for getting a map of every area and for unlocking all the fast travel stations. But I don't have. I still haven't found. There's like a blacksmith. I could be wrong, but I haven't found the way to like upgrade my weapon. Although I have found 3 pieces of like ore that, if you read the description, it says like can be used by like you know like some sort of like blacksmith or
Mhm.
something, and like it's something about weapon upgrades. So I'm literally doing the game with like no weapon upgrades, and everyone's coming to my stream, even though I have in my channel like no spoilers. Like like every time they've been saying stuff like man, I can't believe you've gone this far without any nail upgrades. Like nail is the weapon.
Mm,
So I'm like, uh,
yeah, you get like
apparently I
upgrades.
missed. Yeah. So I've been scouring the map. Like I don't even care about. I know where I need to go next for the story. I need to kill 3 bosses. But like I've been specifically trying to avoid them because I want to find this weapon upgrade
You
and I
should
can't.
not. You should just do your playthrough without any weapon upgrades.
Well, it's a 100% run, so I have to do it eventually, right? So I don't want to be stubborn about it, you know. I'll like I'm trying to find him, but it's hilarious that like
It's
I explored most of the map and I can't
it's weird. You've
find this
gotten to
fucker.
where you can go with your abilities right now, and you still haven't found the upgrade. And everyone, even though that no spoilers, are like, you probably should have found it by now. What the hell, right? That's so
Well,
weird.
more so like, oh man, that was a good boss fight, and you did it without any upgrades. I'm like, yeah, uh, yeah, that
Okay.
was my fight
Well,
all
yeah,
along.
but you know what I mean.
Congratulations. Yeah.
It's that feeling of like, especially after you tell us like, I haven't found the blacksmith. If there is one, I don't know where to
Yeah.
upgrade. Like, um,
I, I'm pretty confident after my next stream of that game this weekend, I'll find the blacksmith. I'm pretty confident because now I have a lot of the power ups that lets me traverse the map fairly easily. So
mm,
and I have every fast travel station. So I'm just gonna scrounge that. I've been trying to do that like the last 2 streams. Just like screw story progression. Let me find this guy, and I keep running into bosses and other upgrades. So it's kind of funny.
jeez.
That's the way it turns out. That game has like a fuck ton of bosses, Chris. Like we're talking like maybe upwards of 50.
Yeah, I've seen
So
I've seen how big the map is. I didn't think there was that many bosses, but I know there has been. Excuse me, sorry. I know that there has been a few pieces of DLC. I don't remember if they're paid or just free update DLCs, but a few of them I know have been added in, which added in at least 1 or 2 sections each. So
yeah, I'm playing the Void Heart edition, which has every DLC built into it.
Void
So
Heart.
Void Heart edition,
Okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
By the way, it's on sale. Hollow Knight's on sale right now, actually for Black Friday. So on Steam at least. So
So many games on sale on Black Friday. I was about to say, which I still said.
oh, and
Hmm.
oh, go ahead.
No, no, nothing. I was just gonna say so many sales, and I don't want to spend all that money on them.
You know
But
what?
Nintendo's finally put games on sale.
You know what? I was just about to say that. And the other thing I've been up to is spending a lot of money. Now that I got this new job, I can actually do this. I haven't been holding back. I've been buying a lot of games. I want to say I bought at least 10 games so far, like
Wow.
physically, right? I'm calling my 3 closest Game Stops to me every day asking for an OLED Switch because that's what they said what to do. If you want one, don't bother like waiting until the website says they have it because that'll never happen because they get sold out pretty much
Hmm.
instantly. So on my lunch breaks at work, I've been phoning. Like it takes like very, does not take long, but I just been phoning them asking if they have stock and nope. But despite that, I still bought some Switch games. I bought Breath of the Wild
Hmm.
and Link's Awakening.
Hmm.
I also bought Minecraft for Switch, and then I bought Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Regular price in Canada is $80 for that game. I got it for 30, so $50 off, over half off. That's really fucking good. What else have I bought? I bought Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition for 20. I just bought something today. Oh, I bought Guardians of the Galaxy. That just went on sale. It just came out like 2 weeks ago, I
Yeah, I was
think.
gonna say, isn't that the one that just came up by Square did, right?
Yeah, and apparently it's really good. It's like I can't really compare it to a game because I haven't played it and I've purposely been avoiding it. But apparently it's like a Mass Effect type game. So
It.
yeah, it's
Mm.
like you tell your squad mates what to do. They all have their separate skill trees, and it's not like a Telltale game with decisions, but there are decisions like that, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And you know, I'm not the biggest Guardians fan, but I am a very big Marvel fan. So I know I'll love it, and I know some of the characters like Rocket Raccoon and Drax. You know, I played them in other video games, so yeah, it will be fun. It will be fun once I get to that eventually. What else did I buy? I'd have to like go up and check, but I don't remember off the top of my head besides those. But yeah, I haven't been holding back as I said, Chris. So
Yeah,
um
I wanted to see if
oh
Donkey Kong is on sale because I haven't bought in Tropical Freeze.
oh it should I know it's been on sale digitally before if you care about that. You should
As
check that.
much I don't mind digital, but I would like physical. I did have to buy the new Pokemon game digital.
Oh,
All the
why?
stores, cause none of the fucking stores around me had it physically.
Really? Huh? Every store here still has it, like plenty.
Yeah,
That's
I
strange.
went day one and I went to like Best Buy. They had and Walmart. They had like advertisements everywhere saying they had the game, and Best Buy even had like the cases. You know how they have their display cases, tons of them everywhere, and not a fucking game in stock. And he's like, we might not have them in till like November or December, maybe January. I'm like, fuck that. So I bought it digitally because I'm not gonna wait. If I'm gonna get
You-
physical now, I'll just wait until it's on sale, if it's ever on sale, and buy the other version of the game. But who
Right.
cares?
I
Like,
know you have Prime. I'm surprised you didn't get it through Amazon.
I would still have to wait like 3 days before I could get it. I looked when it was like, if you get it now, you could get by I think it was Sunday or Monday. I'm like, it's Friday. I don't want to wait 4 days to get the game that I can start now, right? So even though it's only a couple days, like I wanted to play the game or have the game then, and I was expecting the stores to have it in stock, but no, everywhere I went didn't have it, and I'm not pre-ordering it just to maybe have it in stock physically. And when I
Right.
show it on release, right? Or
I
last time I pre-ordered a game on Amazon, they told me it would take like 2 months for me to get a copy of it. So I canceled my. That was for the last Story of Seasons game,
hmm.
and I canceled my order with them. And I think I walked into a store. No, I ended up buying it digitally too because that was nowhere on the shelves either. So it seems like pandemic or whatever reasons, like they're not getting a lot of these games in stock or certain games not in stock right away. So
Right.
I've been having to buy more digital. So I'm not opposed to digital. I would rather get physical just so I don't use up space on my cards. But I did just buy was it 250 gig uh memory card for my Switch, so I could buy some more digital. I have more space now. I'll have to look. I'll decide on if I'm getting any games or what I'm getting them on, or physical or digital. I'll have to look.
Yeah, and well, just to continue what I was saying
Mm,
for
yeah,
myself,
sorry.
no, you're fine. I've been playing some Game Pass games. I plan on playing some that are about to
Mm,
expire. I saw Hello Neighbor was about to expire. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Let me try and play this. So I
mm,
played it. I beat it. I got all the achievements, but my God,
really?
that's
Mm,
such a bad game. Honestly,
like,
like the game was really fucking popular once it was like an alpha and beta stages,
mm,
and like the internet was abuzz with theories. But now, if you look at the scores once it came out, I was like, how did this game do so well? I actually look at the scores; they're like maybe high 30s, low 40s,
wow. I didn't think it
and
was that low.
that's what it deserves. No, like look for yourselves, everyone. Like, don't
Mm,
take my word for it. Like, I thought I was the black sheep. I'm like, how did people think this is a good game? And I saw, I'm like, oh, they didn't. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. It's it's like a it's very janky. That's the word I would use. It's very janky. It's like you can pick up almost any object, like not like furniture. Even some furniture you can, but not like the big pieces, right? You can pick up any object. You can carry up to 4 items at the same time. Stuff like keys and stuff take up an inventory slot. So, and the controls are very weird if you're using a controller. They use like all the shoulder buttons. Like sometimes you have to hold the button to do one thing, like tap it to do another. But for the face buttons, they only use one button to jump, and they leave three other. So the controls are stupid. The physics are really stupid. Like there's times where you have to like double stack boxes, like jump on, like stack them, jump, and then use the height to go somewhere else. There have been numerous times when after putting a second item down on top of the first, my character will like launch up in the air in a
mm.
random direction. I'm like, what the fuck? Because sometimes, so if the neighbor catches you, you just respawn in your own house. So he's after you constantly. Sometimes he doesn't see you, but like there's no way to really escape from him once he
Mm,
sees you. Like you can, but you have to like run around and like
mm,
obviously if you have to do a puzzle here, you have to come back, which is a major pain in the ass. It's not fun. And they advertise, oh, the AI learns and adapts. So like eventually, if you go through the same window to get into his house, he'll put like a bear trap there, or like like cameras, or like if you keep opening the same door, he'll literally put like a bucket full of water that'll like cover you and slow you down for a few seconds once it hits your head. It's there's no AI. It doesn't learn from you. It just the game punishes you. Oh, you like to go through this door 3 or 4 times. Okay, we're gonna like put stuff here.
Hmm.
That's it. That's how the there is no AI learning. They just made that up completely up because he acts totally the same way every time. As I said, the game's very janky. It's also a puzzle game, but the puzzles are stupid. Like they're not puzzles. Like you wouldn't know what to do. So there's this area where you have to like where plants are blocking your way. So what's the first thing you can think of, knowing the fact that you can pick up almost anything, Chris? You want
Should
some?
get some poison and put it in the roots of the plant, three
There you
floors
go.
down.
Or get some sharp object, right? That's probably what you would think of first, right?
Yeah, sharp object, yes.
There's two gramophones. One of them is like those old school record players, like those big ass record players.
Hmm.
One of them is red, one of them is green. And they're like hidden behind puzzles of their own, first of all. So the way to progress in that game is you have to get like one plays like really soothing music, one plays like very like nightmarish music. You have to like turn it on and then like the red one, like find the red one, which is a pain in the ass, first of all, by the way. Then you have to like go to the plants and use it on the plants and they'll shrink. Is that something you think of? Like, that's not how plants work in real life. Like, yes, they respond to music, but not to the point of like a fully grown shrub shrinks to almost nothing
Yeah,
in like a few seconds.
it's like the way
That's
to solve the movie in Little Shop of Horrors is just to play it soothing music, and the alien plant monster will just go oh and shrink back to its little.
exactly. And it's that's what I'm talking about. That's not a puzzle. That's very like stupid. Like I would never think about that using like a music. Keep in mind, a f- there's only like a few of each items in the house, right?
Hmm.
So that's it, right? And some of the puzzles, it's like you don't even know are puzzles. I was like stuck. I'm like, I don't know where to go. And like all of a sudden, like you have to go like to this random room that's on the second floor. You have to open up a cage, which is not difficult to do. It's a very simple puzzle. You just have to like jump on a lamp and then like a lamp attached to the wall and then jump at an angle of, like around the cage, which is fine. That's but once you open the cage, you're like, I don't know what to do next.
Hmm.
And like the house has paintings, and this specific room has like a lot more than usual, granted, but like one of the paintings specifically, you have to like hit with a random object. It'll like turn sideways, and that's like a switch. In a room in a house full of paintings, and this room specifically had like, I don't know, 10 paintings maybe. So like not like an overabundance of paintings, like more
Hmm.
an average, but like how are you supposed to know that?
Yeah, it's
Like the game doesn't even hint that this is like a puzzle. It's just a random thing you pass by. So I had generally I hate doing this, but I had to use a guide for this game because the puzzles were I wouldn't even consider them puzzles. They're just like do this random thing or you'll never beat the game. Like as I said, like get like a music player to kill plants or like throw you have to throw a shoe inside of a switch box apparently because for one the puzzles because you can do it the legit way but the way that you do it legitimately the designers didn't still to this day still haven't programmed correctly that puzzle, so you have to like cheat it by like going inside of it picking up a specific shoe off the shelf in the same room and like you can like there's different strength of throwing. You can like charge it up or you can just like tap and you'll gotta like throw it like very weakly on
hmm.
purpose. You have to like throw it into a cage with a switch, and then the shoe is just big enough that like it'll hit the switch to the cage. You'll like glitch the shoe in. That's what every guide said what to do. I had to like very specifically Google search how to do this puzzle. Legitimately, I tried to do it, and they said yeah, like, there's like this puzzle is never programmed correctly.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
so
this
annoying.
game is so jank. And like when you try and do a puzzle, like there's also a tracker on the neighbor's house in the last act with a train.
Hmm.
So you have to like get in the train, pause it, and like put a couple boxes on the track in a very specific area. Use it to jump in the pipe. Use the pipe to jump onto the train that you stopped. That's like right behind the boxes. Like you stop in such a way like that. You stop it here. You put the boxes right from the train. You jump here and then you go here and then you go here onto the roof. It's like okay, see that makes sense, but you need like two boxes. You need to find two cardboard boxes, and then the neighbor can still find you. And at times he's knocked the boxes off of the train track, all the fall making it fall all the way back to his front entrance. I'm like, this is complete horseshit. Like it's not fun. It's not a fun game.
Hmm.
It's not a fun game. the watching the fan theories are okay.
Mhm.
That's but like playing the actual game is a lesson of frustration. It's
So
very janky. I don't recommend anyone play it.
so what I'm hearing is you're gonna play the four-player co-op next.
Yes,
Or I don't remember
exactly.
how many people could play that was, but
I think
there's
it's 8 players.
oh,
It's called Secret Neighbor, I believe.
I think so. I know that there was like some more multiplayer stuff added in or whatever.
Yeah.
I
So
remember watching videos of it when it first came out and going, I don't think I'd like this game, but I will watch some people go through and hate their enjoyment of this game for the small time they'll be playing it. If you know what I mean. Like they're enjoying it slash hating the, as you were saying, the physics and the obtuse puzzles and the way that the AI just tracks to where you are a lot of the time. Things like that.
it's very jank. Like
Hmm.
the controls suck. Pretty much everything sucks. Like the physics. As I said, I will sometimes I just be walking over objects because I've been trying to run away from the neighbor.
You just
And you
rock it to
and
the side.
yes, like I'm not even throwing objects. I'm just like running into an object. And, it's like neighbors here, I'm here, and we're both running this way, right? And there'll be like a box or like a rake or some object. I'm running this, and then my character's like, right, and then the neighbor catches up. I'm like, that's complete horseshit. Like, uh it's it was very annoying to beat. But again, I wasn't gonna waste my entire time considering it's about to disappear from Game Pass, trying to figure all these things out myself.
Hmm.
I'd still be playing the game because the house is huge, so you have no idea what the fuck to do. And there's multiple times I got stuck. I'm like, fuck this. This is not worth it because this game is not good. I'm sorry, it's not. So that's one game I don't feel bad about using a guide for. But again, it
Yeah.
was about to disappear off Game Pass, so I wanted to actually beat it. And aside from that, I've been playing some other Game Pass games. There's this game that you might enjoy for it's only for PC, Chris. It's like a visual novel. It's called Valhalla. It's like it's your bartender serving drinks, except there's no dialogue options. It's just you serving different drinks at different opportunities when the game lets you. Is what kind of like the dialogue options, how the game branches off. Did you do the good drink or the bad drink?
Is it what's it called again?
Valhalla, although you spell it with ones instead of the L's. So VA 1
Give me
1.
1 second here.
Right. So let me get the full name
BA
of the
one
game.
one. Okay, there. Hal
Yeah. So Valhalla, a cyberpunk bartender
I've
action.
seen this recommended to me a
Yes.
few
So
times.
I just started playing yesterday, and I played only for like not even an hour today. So I don't really have much of a verdict on it yet, but I've been enjoying it so far. I'm someone who reads everything in visual novels. I don't want to skip anything.
Mm.
So yeah, so far so good.
So you're
Yeah.
saying with
So
how slow I read, it'll take me about 2 or 3 times longer to play it than you.
yes,
But yeah,
yes.
anyway, you're saying
So
that I would probably get some enjoyment out of it as well.
yeah, there is the game doesn't hold back. It uses a lot of, well, not a lot, but like it doesn't hold back in terms of like themes or like words. Like they'll say fuck. They'll say man. All those women are a bunch of cunts. I think was like one of the lines I've ran into so
I
far.
see.
So like they don't hold back is what I'm trying to say, right? Like
Yeah.
they which is, I don't want to say surprising. It's not, but like it's kind of, there's a game like that on Game Pass. That's actually pretty cool in this day and age.
It
So
it's like they're not trying to censor themselves. They're trying to build the characters and make these people actually seem real because a lot of people don't censor themselves, especially as you get older. You don't
yeah,
realize that the older you get, the less fucks you give.
so yeah, but playing through that, I'll probably beat it, before it disappears off Game Pass. And there's a few more Game Pass games that I plan on playing before they disappear. I'll comment on those after I play them, though. I'm
Hmm.
not going to jump ahead of myself. So yeah, that's it for me. I guess we can jump into the news if assuming you're good, Chris.
Yeah, I think we're good. Well, I want to start just with the one that we didn't do last week, the one about Shueisha, if you don't mind.
Sure. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, though.
Okay, I'll just do, I guess. I've got it up here. So, apparently, Shueisha and 3 other publishers are going to be suing a pirate manga site called Manga Bank,
Oh, this
following
news. Okay.
the California or following a California court decision. So this, sorry, give me a second here. They've approved manga publisher Shueisha to bring forth evidence that shows that these people are stealing their uh, their manga, and there's like three other publishers in that are in on this, like with Shueisha trying to shut these guys down. Uh, Manga Bank, I believe, is the biggest or one of the biggest Japanese pirate manga sites on the internet. It had spawned from another pirate manga site. I'm just trying to get the name of it here. Uh, it yes, sorry. Manga Bank emerged as a leading manga pirate website in Japan after the closure of a Japanese language manga pirate site called Mangamura in 2018. Um, and apparently, let's see, where is the other info I had on here? It's basically about how much, how big this has gotten over, like, I'm sure that you would guess, because of like the pandemic, lots of people have been using the internet more and such. But how many people have accessed like this website is insane. According to market data, um, more than 81 million people access Manga Bank monthly, making it the 44th most popular site in Japan. Not manga site, just 44th most popular site in Japan. Down. It's,
Hmm. That's like in the world.
well, yeah, in the world, like for Japanese websites, it's insane how many people. Um, I thought I had seen here.
Excuse me.
Okay, yes. The website itself apparently went from somewhere around 61 million people per month in January of 2020. And then it went to, is now sitting at roughly 398 million people per month accessing the website. Like basically 2 years later, October of 2021. The numbers of how many people have been accessing the website has skyrocketed. These guys have made an estimated 6.9 billion US, I think is what they're saying. So that's a lot of money. But I know, pirates are pirates. You can't convert a pirate, right? Or it's not easy to convert a pirate, right? As they say, it's easier to the people who are going to steal, we're going to steal anyway. But with the, as you see, the increase of how many people accessing the website, that's a lot of probably sales that were taken from them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, they finally, through California District Court, have been given the opportunity to present all this evidence to show them. The website, I believe right now, at least at the time that this article was written, I believe was shut down and says it's down for like maintenance issues, which is probably because of this. So they're just putting that up there. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I don't think it's going to last that long. Shueisha is a big manga publishing company, and with that much money being potentially lost to them, they're not going to let that sit by. I was just kind of shocked at just how much it polluted, how much money they seemingly or estimatedly may have been making off the website. Because I assume that they're more likely running Google AdSense or something like that off the website or whatever ad uh, company they go through, right? I don't
Hmm.
think most of these places don't do premium subscription stuff because they don't own the rights to this stuff. So anything to, but who knows? It's just insane from like 61 million to almost 400 million. It's like almost was it 800%, 7 to 800% increase? My math is off, but you know what I mean. It's huge. Uh,
Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't really participate in this discussion
that
so
that's
much, Chris.
fine. I know like
Um,
this news was buried in the other news as well. So, and I
it
read through
wasn't.
this a few times.
No,
So,
it wasn't even that. As you were talking right at the start, I'll,
Mm.
I was trying to look for something for the podcast, and I saw on my Twitter someone posted like 7 minutes ago that there was OLED switches in stock at Best Buy. So
Okay, I see.
I went ahead and ordered one, the neon controller one, which is more rare than the white one, the white color controller one. So I
Yeah.
actually successfully ordered one. So that'll
So
be
hopefully,
exciting.
as long as you don't get emails saying it's out of stock, you should have one coming in.
Hopefully, it says December 2nd, so that's like next week. That's not too bad.
Well, that's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was reading the article, so I didn't see if your eyes lit up going, oh, they're in stock. You know,
Well, I was expecting the item to be like people have like bought it and like disappeared from my cart, but no, that didn't
so it's
happen.
more like a
Apparently,
look of determination of get it now.
pretty much. I mean, when the Twitter post about this follower, and I'm sorry to derail the
That's
news,
fine.
but like when the Twitter post for this guy I follow was at 7 minutes, I'm like, okay, let me try. I'm not too late because he said there's 54 left
Mhm.
on the website. I got one, and now it's like 10, 11 minutes, let's say, and now they're already all gone.
Yeah, like at 7 minutes, you're like they might be out of stock by now. I've never personally been in the bid war to try and get stuff like that, but I've heard of people trying to get stuff like that. Like when the 3080s and 3070s for the video cards came out, and there was none in stock anywhere. And I was following Angriest Pat, like Patrick Beauvois, from Super Beast Cast. No, Castle Super Beast. Why do I keep saying the name of the podcast wrong? That he was on the podcast actively while they're doing the podcast, going, "This guy just posted something. I gotta try and get this. I gotta get this goddamn card."
Huh.
So, so he was also AFK a lot while trying to get. He was like following like 3, 4, 5 different people that were trying to keep tabs on whether or not stuff was in stock. I understand trying to get stuff when you can.
Yep. And now I completely forgot the reason why I want to go on the internet in the first place as you're talking about this. But yeah.
But yeah,
Anyways, sorry to derail.
that's
Just
fine.
pretty
I
excited.
I kind of went through all of it already. I'm pretty sure Shueisha's got this in the bag.
Yeah,
Like,
I was paying attention. Like you said, like 40 or 50 something most. I think it was 40 something most. Was the website in the world. They made billions off of this, and now they want their money back essentially.
effectively, yeah. I don't know how come it went for. I guess 2 years is long, but not long because as a company they would have to get evidence. They just can't say stop, right? So
Hmm.
yes, of course it's going to keep going for a while, um, before they could do something about it. Uh, but yeah, so like the last guy who's running the manga Mangamura site was or he was sentenced to 3 years in prison, fined 10 million yen, an additional fine of 62 million yen. One of
Wow.
those, the letter, based on the 62 million yen in revenue that his site had apparently earned. So these guys, even though it's no, actually they're in the billions. No, not billions. It would be anyway. They're I would assume something similar to that. They'll probably get a similar fine and then have to pay back the money that the companies had lost in revenue, or whatever it is that it deems that the courts deem. But yeah, the doesn't look good for them. But I'm sure that there'll be another part site that spawns off of this one because they always seem to have like a tentacle that survives.
Yeah,
Because this,
that's the way it always is.
but yeah, they'll be shut down. And that's all I gotta see for that. We got anything we want to go into? Do we want to get into the big stuff, the bigger stuff?
Um. Well, if you're talking about the other stories, yeah. I mean, as we said last week. Oh, look, more Activision Blizzard news. What a shocker,
Hooray!
Chris.
I am
I
so
never saw this
surprised.
coming.
Yeah, it's like as if ActiBlizz just can't, stop. But it is the continuing story of the year. If
Pretty
if
much.
it's not Ubisoft, if it's not, some of the other guys, Riot, then I guess ActiBlizz has to step up and show them what a real AAA developer can do.
Exactly.
I know that's
So
really
I
shitty to
guess
say, but
very quickly, and this is
Mhm.
kind of this is a real news story, but
There's a
I
few.
anyways, Activision Blizzard boss Bobby Kotick is reportedly open to quitting as abuse claims rocked the company. I don't believe that. Like, I believe the news article. Oh,
My
excuse me. I believe the news article
mm,
that he said this, but I don't believe him actually meaning it. That's what I mean. But like, is this really news? Because like, he's how many times he lied, right? It's proven at this point. It's all but proven essentially that he did know about the abuse for years and was part of it, as we talked about last week,
mm,
Chris. We don't need to go through that again. But for someone who's lied their way, I don't want to say to the top. He's always been a liar, but like for someone who's
yeah,
lied, do we really trust him now? Not fucking really. You know, it's like fuck. Like, there's no way. All the executives are with him.
yeah,
There's no
they're
way they're
standing
gonna out
behind
him.
him.
So that's unless if you have something else to add. There's not really much else to say. I don't
No,
think,
I
Chris.
was gonna bring up the fact that the what you just said, where the all the other like that was 9 or 10 is execs there at the top that are standing behind him saying, no, no, those accusations, they were from a long time ago, and there's almost no proof that they happened, except for the news reports that went into what happened, him basically getting sued. No, 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 that stuff never happened. Don't worry, guys. We got
So
this.
I think the real news story is that I know Sony and Microsoft, maybe Nintendo.
Yeah,
I
Nintendo
think I think
was,
Nintendo as well.
yeah,
They're all pretty much saying that they're reevaluating their relationship with Activision, which is pretty much as close as they can get without doing any damage to saying that they would
with
like to see Bobby Kotick leave as
yeah,
well.
without boycotting and removing their stuff from the stores. They're saying basically the actions that are being taken by Kotick and his team are egregious and should not be done by company. Some of
Yeah,
these I did read. Apparently, the Sony one was supposed to be an internal one, but was leaked to the public. I want to say Nintendo's was public, but I don't
I
remember.
I thought Nintendo's was the private one.
Maybe I got it wrong. Sorry if we
Well,
got
I'm
this
not
wrong, but
sure.
I
As
think
I said, I thought.
yeah,
I'm not
I think
sure.
some were public and some were private, but ended up becoming public. But either way, apparently, yeah, Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony have come out said no, we do not share these views. No company should. This is very egregious.
Hmm. And when you have your three major publishing, well, not publishing partners, but three major partners as far as the consoles go, all saying this, all in unison, yeah, that's like a very rare thing, right? But that's kind of been the kind of ongoing theme about this entire story the last few weeks. It's like a lot of people are aligning, like as we said last week, Chris, the shareholders and the workers at Activision Blizzard are in alignment. That's a very rare thing, right? Same thing
Hmm.
for this, right? I know for a fact Microsoft's head, well, Xbox's head boss, Phil Spencer, the guy in charge of Xbox division, he just came out and said it. Like, there's
Yeah.
no internal memo. He just came out and said, like, we are evaluating our relationship with them. Like, but that doesn't really surprise me because last couple generations, Microsoft have been like the good guys in terms of like
Mm.
you know PR and all that.
They've
But
been trying their best.
yeah, good guy Microsoft, pretty much.
Compared to the others, yeah. But yeah, there's that. I guess good guy Microsoft, maybe partially bad guy Sony. If we go
Oh,
into um the other news now, I don't know what happened. I can't swap to my Discord to grab the news article, but my web browser has froze, so I can't click on the news article.
right. Well, I can take over for this one. So
If you could
basically,
bring it up, I've read a lot of these, so I'll try and add in where I can, but my web browser just froze. I can move it, but I can't click on my tabs. It's been acting up all day.
so yeah, according to the news, we were just talking about this, but the PlayStation, uh, calling out, well, not calling out, but like disagreeing with Activision, that was internal. That's according to this
Oh, okay.
article. So Jason Schreier, like the journalist, he said that yeah, it was a internal email, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yeah, PlayStation boss Jim Ryan has reportedly criticized Activision in an internal email to employees, according to Bloomberg.
Mm,
That's the article by Jason Schreier. So basically, it was let's see here. I, unless if you were talking with something else, Chris. Like,
Yes, there
was
was
this the because
one.
there's a couple of PlayStation stories. I think this is the one you're talking about, right?
Well, because we kind of touched on, PlayStation, Xbox, and basically Nintendo, right? So they came out as three different stories, but effectively the same one. The other one is a different one about Sony, but
Right.
um, I
I
don't
know what
remember
you mean.
who, but apparently Sony did a no-no
Yeah,
after we found out after they had that notice released. So if you could, my browser's still acting up. I'm gonna try and get it working again.
sure. So there was a class action lawsuit by a former Sony employee, and
Hmm.
a class action means that it's not just them. They're kind of looking for anyone who, excuse me, anyone else who was affected in the
Yes,
same time
sorry, I
period.
had no idea what they
Um,
meant technically by class action lawsuit.
so you have a lawsuit, and all that class. If you hear class action, all that means is that they welcome anyone to join in.
Hmm. Okay.
Like who was also affected in the
Yes.
same
So
way.
they're
So
starting to look into it and trying to get as much people evidence together. I
right.
I get you.
So basically there was someone, and she was transgender, and she feels very strongly, and there's actually evidence that, as far as we know, that supports the fact that she was fired because she brought up the fact that she felt like she was being partially discriminated against. So let me
Hmm.
just kind of skim here. So yeah, it's a class action lawsuit of female employees, both cisgender and trans, who worked at Sony's California office for 4 years prior to now, essentially prior to the filing of this lawsuit. So basically, there was the question of point is Sony engaging in systematic gender discrimination by failing to implement a standardized compensation system. Like that's just basically males making more money than females, despite the fact that they're doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and have been there for the same
Um,
amount of time, stuff like
yeah.
that.
And then back in the day, her department was apparently about 60-40 men to women. So not quite
Hmm.
50-50, but that's
That's actually,
very that's as close as you're gonna get pretty much in most cases, right?
especially back in the
Now,
day.
yeah, and now it's almost entirely filled by men. So and she said that managers would ignore her despite, like, there'd be like three people in the room and the manager would ignore her because he was talking to a male instead, a male colleague. He'd only
Hmm.
speak to the male colleague and just like ignore her completely. She was passed over for promotions for 6 years, despite her asking repeatedly, like not like every day, but over time, over the 6 years. Like 6 years is a long time,
Hmm.
about how she could secure one, and she was even effectively demoted in her own words.
Well, I didn't read that part. I didn't even
Yeah,
catch that part of the.
so she sent a letter to higher ups before being let go, just just like not calling them out, just like bringing up these issues about systematic discrimination within Sony that she witnessed and experienced herself, and she was let go shortly after that. So she apparently, again, me and Chris are both Canadian, but I'm just reading the article right now for this next portion. There's a right to sue notice, a document that allows the plaintiff to file a suit in federal court from California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing, the same regulatory body that famously filed suit against Activision Blizzard earlier this year, alleging deep seated harassment, discrimination, and other violations of civil rights. So basically, the same people who are trying to put down Activision Blizzard, there we go, are the same people who are defending her. And yeah, so basically, she kind of tried to bring up discrimination of any sort. Like, I have an HR experience, right? So
Hmm.
I can say, like, this is something that she did correctly. Like, you want to bring that up to, never mind the other stuff. You should never be punished for bringing up potential discrimination. You should always be, what's what cheered. I guess I can think of a better word. You should always be cheered that you're going the extra mile in informing anyone of any discrimination you can see, right? Because discrimination is a big no-no.
Hmm. That's what it's supposed.
By law, you're not supposed to do that as an organization.
You're not
By law,
supposed to be scared to go to HR and get things
no,
fixed in your company when
no.
things
Like,
are crappy.
as I said, I have an HR background, and even though HR does work for the company, you still have to follow law. You still have to, like. It's not like you have to be on their side. Like if the company fucks up, you have to be on the employee side by law, right? Like
Mm,
not by law, but like if they're right within the terms of the law, you have to side with them, or else you're not doing your job correctly, right? So yeah, the fact that she was passed for promotion for 6 years. Like I'm sorry, like when you're in office setting, if you don't get a promotion within 2 years, like some sort of promotion, like pay increase or like a position with more responsibility, something along those lines. Something is wrong, right? Like
mm,
for 6 years she tried, and despite asking repeatedly, she's been ignored this entire time apparently. So basically, I think reading between the lines, she got discriminated against because she was a transgender person.
yeah.
It was kind of like where my head is after being aware of all this information. So yeah, Emma Majo, Majo. So Majo, I'm assuming is how you say her last name. So yeah, Emma is going through a lot of shit, and if this is all true, which it looks like it is, because she has evidence apparently. Apparently, I don't want to claim that as fact,
Yeah,
but
we haven't seen it yet, so
yeah, apparently she is. Yeah, especially if she got this the California's Department of Fair Employment to side with her. That's saying a lot. So what do you think about this, Chris?
I think it after receiving or reading that email about Sony, and then hear this come up right after, and it's also from in California again. Sorry, it's just it. We'll wait for more evidence, but it is damning against Sony, so it doesn't look good for them. I don't think that this article said whom it was against, because I assume that they're going to wait for more evidence and such, right? But if that person is still on the board, he may, it doesn't look good. Because I think she's former, she doesn't work for them anymore, because you said that she got fired. More
For
likely,
bringing,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Uh, it's scummy. Uh, it doesn't make him look good, especially after them trying to. I guess it was an internal email, still them damning Blizzard Activision, but still, it's not good. It's not looking good for them at all. And my browser is now gone completely black.
oh, that's not good.
I think
Um,
Chrome is screwed up so much. I probably need to reinstall it because
so
I've been having issues with it. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine, but I don't mind taking on the next one as well. But in the meantime, Chris, do you have like Firefox installed, or at worst, you should have
Yeah,
by
I have
default
Firefox.
Edge?
I'm trying to find whichever stories we do next. I will try my best to find them. I'm so
Okay,
sorry
well,
about this.
this one I can handle next. Is like let me know when you're good, but this one is very easy for me to do. So kind of moving on from the whole um
'Cause a lot of this.
sorry, something I forgot to mention.
Oh,
I kind of looked over. Going back to Activision Bobby Kotick, apparently, yeah. So apparently, this is another piece of. So basically, they're pretty floundering at this point, and they're trying to do like things that seem like they actually have merit, but they don't. So
oh,
Activision
this.
Blizzard
Yes,
kind of said a couple days ago, I believe it was a couple days ago, that they plan on having like I forget the name because this news article is blocked to me for some reason, but I read it on another site. Um, so I'll just go off of my memory. But basically, they're making a new board about like basically like one that pleases themselves in terms of like making sure there's no like bad shit going on. That I forget what they named it specifically. So maybe you can
I'm trying
tell
to
me, Chris,
find.
once you have everything in working order. But yeah, they
Oh,
have they have they have a kind of a board here, and the board is reporting to like the people, sorry, not the board, the what do you call it, the committee is reporting to the board of directors. But what the funny part is that the only two women on the board are the ones in charge of this committee, and they report to Bobby Kotick. So basically, they're just reporting to themselves. The committee, led by board members, is presenting to the board of directors. It's like why, right? And like, of course, they put the only two women on the board in charge to like make themselves look good, right? Two
yeah,
women on the board,
but
only two. Go
the
ahead.
other the other thing with this is this just seems like another version of HR, which the
No.
well, not quite, but it's basically they're gonna self-regulate, big air quotes on them, but the people who are regulating it are two members of the board, like you said, who report directly to Bobby and who are just under him. This doesn't solve anything because the people who are already causing this to happen were already reporting to Bobby. And if I want to kind of merge this into a different story as well, apparently the non the what's it called, the zero tolerance policy that they put in place a month ago does not affect Bobby Kotick.
Yep. So they said, do these new policies that you're putting into place from this new committee, are they retroactive to Bobby Kotick? What do you think?
Oh no.
What the hell do you
And the
think?
board said, well, I don't see why they need to be. That's what
Yeah,
the
exactly.
other members of the board said. The people who were being put in charge of this new thing. And the other issue with this is that the employees have no say. Again, not in anything that's going on. They don't have a voice in anything that's happening. This is
Hmm.
why you need a third party company to come in and fix this stuff. Because they will listen to the CEOs and the board members and maybe the shareholders, probably not, but they do have a voice. And the employees need a voice as well. There is no voice. The voice from the employees is being shouted up from them and going to the top, the 10 at the top, and they're just muffling out anything they don't want to hear. And then Bobby hears none of it until this shit hits the fan, and then they try to bury it as quickly as possible.
And so Stephen Totolio, I believe from Kotaku, posted a chart here that, like, what happens if this is what happens to Bobby Kotick. Like, if he dies, he gets $252 million. Disability, like a couple more million than that. Termination by Activision Blizzard for cause, he gets like 264,000.
Well, I
That's like
didn't
that's
see any of that
right.
stuff.
And then termination by Activision Blizzard without cause, or termination by employee for good reason, he still gets $265 million. And here's the big one coming up, Chris. Termination by Activision Blizzard without cause or termination by employee for good reasons following a change of control, which is what he promised he'd do. He would cash out with nearly $300 million just by getting kicked out. $300 million. Like, to be exact, it's almost 293 million, but let's just say 300 million. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That
it's gross, and that's not even counting, I'm pretty sure, the shares he gets to keep in the company. Because he'll have a lot of those.
mhm.
And other stuff. Like it is for him being at the top and him being able to set the rules of how much he'll be making or be able to steal away and squirrel away with. It's gross. It is so fucking gross that
Yeah.
no,
No one needs that much money.
no shit that he would like to retire. The amount that I mean, hell, the amount that he makes, that he would have made normally at his just his normal salary before would have been enough for most people to live off of comfortably. But
Yes.
he needs billions of dollars to for what? For himself?
You,
Because we
you
know he
know,
doesn't have. Anyway, I'm not gay.
he could he could give up 99% of all the money he has now and still have 1% and live an extraordinarily comfortable
Wealth.
life, and
Yes.
never have to work a day in his life again as is.
Yep.
So yeah, that's I think it's fair if we move on. Like,
I think
the
so
fact that
because
this
it's
is allowed
upset.
to exist in the
Like
world is
the,
fucked
the
up.
the more now that I've heard that part, I'm even more upset about it because I was like, okay, yeah, he'll quit or whatever, and I know he would get some kind of bonus, maybe depending on the circumstances. But holy shit, almost 400 million or whatever. Oh, it's or whatever it was. Fuck that. Fucking, I'm upset now. Good news, my browser is okay. Yes, is uneffed for the time being. Uh, I think no more Blizzard Activision stuff. No more of that today.
Well, not until next week, Chris, because we know the story is
No.
going to have like three more news articles by next week, as it always
I,
does, right?
I know there will be another part to the story. There will always be another part to the story, and if it's not Activision Blizzard, I'm sure another contender, another Rocky will come up to the podium to threaten the crown.
The only way this is going to end is if Activision Blizzard gets dissolved, which is not going to happen. But
It's not.
that's the only time when I think, oh, the story is actually finished. That's the
Yeah.
only time I'll
This
think that.
this company needs a retooling, like like an uneffing, an unfucking. Like I think
Pretty
a lot of
much.
companies do, but holy crap! Like in the story that we got before, like who was it that was saying, "Oh, this is just normal in this business for this stuff to happen." When you get to be big size, like it should not be normal ever. Like I assume, yes, this stuff could and does happen because people are dirtbags, but you have systems in place to stop this from happening. It's that you guys are ignoring these systems. Anyway,
Hmm.
uh,
So
enough of that.
yes, I'll bring up the next news story. So basically, Marvel's Avengers going back to that game. So Spider-Man is
Really?
about
Oh no, my browser just froze up. Fuck's
okay.
sakes.
It's all right. So Spider-Man is
Un-
supposed to launch 6 days from now. So let's just call it a week.
Mhm.
So yeah. So typically in the Avengers game, when they've introduced new characters like Black Panther, Hawkeye, and Kate Bishop, you know, they've had like story missions to go along with
No,
these
really?
introductions of new characters to introduce them to the team in a very natural way.
Hmm.
And now that fans, at least Sony fans, have waited over a year for the promise of the console exclusive Spider-Man to appear in the game, he's about to, but they announced that they're they're not going to put any missions for Spider-Man like the other characters.
What's
And they said this is only because he's a console exclusive character, and we kind of have like new missions to with the next update that have like they're not Spider-Man related, but like just like new missions everyone gets, and they put all their efforts into these missions. Now, I don't know about you, I like okay, so I don't have a PlayStation 4 or 5, so to me it's I don't get them either way.
hmm.
But if I did, Spider-Man's my favorite fucking Marvel hero, Chris. So I
Hmm.
would be pissed that he doesn't get the attention he deserves after a fucking year after launch,
Yep.
right? Like, what a fucking letdown, honestly.
Yeah. At
Like,
first,
they have time to put costumes for him, like additional
oh, of
DLCs you can
course.
purchase, but of course, they don't want to put the missions for
I
him.
mean,
So
yeah.
he's just like randomly part of the team
I
now,
mean,
which is like
yeah.
very against the flow.
Like story mission. Obviously, that stuff would take time to do, but they obviously had, through costumes, yada yada, right? I didn't know they had like introduction stories for each of them, so I didn't know what was actually being added in. It's weird that they would just cut Spider-Man after so much time of apparently working on him and the game, and they just cut times. It sounds like that Square just said, well, "Yeah, we're gonna be pulling the plug on this soon. Like maybe not cutting the servers yet, but we're not putting any more money into making content." Like there might have been a story that they were working on for this, and Square just said, "Nope." I assume Square because they're the publisher, so they're the one. So that's what it sounds like to me, that they just don't see the value in putting in the Spider-Man story
Mhm.
for his little mission there. That's upsetting for something that should have been out a long time ago. It's really awful. Uh, yeah, like I know, like Spider-Man, I've really anticipated, and like the most popular superhero in the world is Spider-Man.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he's number one.
I
Followed
never knew
by
that.
followed
I
by I
never knew
want
that.
to say it could have changed because of Avengers, but I believe Spider-Man's number one. And the other four would have been like Batman, Superman, Iron Man, and Captain America. I want to say are the top five. But I believe Spider-Man was supposed to be the number one.
Huh.
Followed by I want to say Batman.
I thought it was going to be Superman, honestly, because he's been around the longest. I think.
Yeah, but it's Superman. What can you do with someone who's basically indestructible? You know
Oh,
what I
don't get me
mean?
wrong. I don't disagree with it. I like the way it is, but I honestly thought it was
Yeah.
either Batman or Superman was
I
going to beat
think
him.
I think because Spider-Man is young, he's got some cool powers, right? And lots of younger people can relate to him, right? Like I think it's got that, and it's also got the factor from, like he's at the end of his high school days and into his early college days, or that's kind of like the era they kind of ish keep him around, right? They'll expand his stories, yada yada, but I think that being in that age range of that transition does a lot for him to appeal to kids and young adults.
Okay.
And it's fucking Spider-Man. He's got some cool
Mhm.
powers. like like I don't watch comics and read comics and that, and I love, big meaty muscular guys like the Hulk, but Spider-Man's fucking cool. like and he's got an awesome range of villains. He's got the best villains I think in comics, at least to me. So that goes a long way too. Superman, who's his biggest villain? Luther, a rich dude who
Lex
doesn't
Luthor,
like
yeah.
who doesn't actually fight, who has to hire people to fight for him. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's like, at least Goku, to be the analog to Superman, has had lots of cool villains and mediocre to good story arcs that he could go on. And he's quite a simple character. You can to compare Superman and Goku. Goku's got more villains that you would recognize more compared to, I would assume, Superman. Anyway, I'm sure some people will shout at me or could shout at me for that in the opposite direction. So anyway,
So, yeah.
uh, if we want to go on, unless if you have anything else to add to that, other
Not
than
really, but there's a news story I actually wanted to bring up, if that's okay again.
oh,
And then I'll have you have the last
because I
three.
was gonna bring up one for Square, unless if you had a different
Um,
one, but you could go ahead.
yeah, this is a new one I forgot to post.
Oh, okay,
So
then go
it's
ahead.
not it's a very short piece of news. There's not really much to discuss. So apparently, Cloud Strife, the voice actor for him from Seven Remake, he
Oh,
got fired from General Hospital for refusing to take the COVID-19 vaccination. So
he was on
that's kind of
one. He was on General Hospital,
yeah. Apparently, I
and
just learned about this. So
he got fired for. So is he anti-vaxxer?
I didn't have time to check that because he had a 2 minute video here, but obviously I couldn't
Well,
hear it. But like I don't know. So that's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if that's going to affect any decisions going forward about the next few, even if it's not Final Fantasy 7 games directly, like like something like Kingdom Hearts, where they would want to consistently get the same voice actors.
mm,
I'm wondering if that's going to affect his character going forward. So not really much to say, just interesting nonetheless,
it
though.
is interesting to see. Like I know voice acting is a different thing. You go into a booth and you talk and you hope that they're cleaning things, right? When actors
Hmm.
go into the booth, sometimes they're up in booth, sometimes they're like you're in a group with people, and sometimes you're not. But that maybe change some things. We might get a new Cloud Strife in the other games.
I don't know. We'll see. But
I
anyways, go
guess we'll
ahead and
see.
bring up what you wanted
But
to bring up.
I actually want to bring up for this also ties into something that happened like years and years and years ago. Well, kind of, but not really. So Square Enix says that Neo, The World Ends with You, which is the sequel. Is that the sequel to World Ends with You, or is that the remake? I don't remember
I'm not
which one it
sure.
was, but they said that it didn't meet sales expectations. This it doesn't see. We don't have numbers as to how much how much it sold, but I've heard this news story before when it came to Tomb Raider. When the
Oh
new
yes,
Tomb Raider games came out, Square
I remember that.
said they did not
Uh-huh.
meet sales expectations, and it sold like 4 to 6 million copies. And you're thinking, what were your expectations for this? It's Tomb
Exactly.
Raider. It's an old PlayStation game. Yada yada. Right? They're trying to revive it. What were your expectations? And the world
To
ends
make
with
all the
you.
money.
Uh,
All the money.
apparently, now there was there was other games in this as well that may or may not have met their sales expectations as well. Like games that came out, is it this quarter of this year, which was like the new Life is Strange. Was it True
Yeah.
Colors?
True
Um,
colors, yeah.
there's also the remake or remaster of Near Replicant.
Yeah. And
And
there was
what was the last one?
Marvel's Avengers.
That isn't the one I was thinking of, but that we could just throw that on there as well.
Because they said that was a colossal failure given the IP,
Oh, I see. Okay.
right?
Well, so yeah, you've got
They
like
lost
four.
money on that, I think.
Yeah, probably. So there's like 4 or 5 titles that came up this year that they're like, these didn't do as well as we expected, but this is coming off the back of last year, which was Final Fantasy VII R Part 1, which was a huge success. And if you're going to compare the sales from that to these other more niche titles, that's unfair. I really
Yes.
want to see the sales numbers for this game or for these games. Just see how much they sold in comparison because it's selling millions of copies. It's not, I mean, it is a big feat. Any game that sells a few million should be seen as good, but we don't know how much they put into it for the game. I want to see that these Neo games are only on like the Switch. Maybe they're on PlayStation, but
Check. Uh, PS4, I think.
I want to say PS4, but they're not on PC. They're not on Xbox. I don't think they're on mobile. I think one of them was, but they're not putting them on as many for some of them anyway. They're not putting them on as many platforms as they could. There also
Yeah.
wasn't any marketing for a lot of these games. Well, True Colors got some. This game got definitely less. Marvel's Avengers advertising everywhere, but I don't know how many people want to play. Not Avengers, sorry. Uh, Crap. Whatever. The event the Marvel game. And like Square only promotes certain games, and when compared to like what how much advertising did you see for Final Fantasy R? Tons. It was everywhere. You couldn't escape anything from Final Fantasy R or 7R. And when these games come out and they go, well, they didn't sell as well. Poot, poot, pout, pout, pout. Like, then
Hmm.
put some advertising up for them. You know it will work. And like, I personally want to play the Neo game or the World Ends With You games. I know you look at them and go, I don't
Yeah.
know. Because maybe art style or combat, whatever. They are a niche type of action RPG. They just need to get a foothold. And people who played them normally say, yeah, these are good. Bear in mind some of the weird and wonky controls that were on the original version. But yeah, I just want to see some weird numbers because is this a weird situation in which it sold really well, but Square just goes, it just didn't make as much as we wanted. Is that it, or did it actually not sell anywhere near as what we would consider good? Like, did it only sell like 1.5 million, 2 million copies? Because that is low for a AAA company, right? But if it's sold like 4 or 5 million, I think that's a success to me. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these companies.
I'm looking at what a lot of people have to say about this because
Yeah,
I don't know
if
much
you
about the
please.
series. But basically, they just came to the same conclusion you did. A very niche title that had no coverage whatsoever, and so Square themselves fucked up, not the game itself.
Yeah, I like to think that that's what it is. And it being a niche title, like, you don't expect the niche titles to make all the money in the world. Square's biggest franchises are Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. Those are the ones that will make you your money. Final Fantasy more in the West, Dragon Quest more in Japan, but they are both getting serious sales in both regions, especially now that Dragon Quest is finally getting a lot more recognition now with the last couple titles. But those are the ones that you make tons of money off of, and then you can put some of these lesser titles out that appeals to smaller demographics. They'll make some money, but not all the money, and you can help grow a bigger audience. And maybe someday those games will get the bigger sales that you want. But after 2 games, it's not going to do that. Like, look at Tomb Raider. I want to say that those games made more money as that franchise went on, right? Same with the Hitman games. They've gotten
Hmm.
bigger and better, I want to say, over the years. Again, I don't have sales numbers to back up what I just said there, but so look it up if you actually want to see. But it is known that as the series goes on, as more people work on it, they tend to either plateau and keep their market, or they normally kind of start to steadily increase, right? As new people get
Yes.
introduced to the games, and then they'll go back and play the older ones, yada yada.
But then
But
you have people like myself who don't want to play the newer games until they play like they want to go in order. They don't want to start the third game in the franchise before playing the first two. So then those will get more sales over time. So it's just,
yeah,
yeah, I agree with everything you said.
yeah. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up, just kind of bring up the other thing there with the. Oh, sorry. Go on, please.
Yes. So I think we're good to move on from that. So we have a couple left, and then we'll wrap up for today.
I'm
Something
so sorry.
kind of No, it's all right. So apparently, there's a group of fans who are not doing this for profit, just for free. They are reviving PlayStation 3's online multiplayer with emulated servers and even emulating stuff like PlayStation Home back online.
Hmm.
As long all you need to do apparently is change some DNS settings, and because they're not charging anything, everything's free. I'm not sure Sony can do much to stop them, honestly, because they're
I
not making money off of it. So I'm not sure if Sony's
yes.
able to kind of, because they don't want this, obviously. Sony,
Hmm.
like, they would definitely cut this off if they could. The question is, do they have the power to do
Yeah,
so?
I think.
Because these are private servers, so
Yeah, we're not lawyers, we don't know, but I would assume as long as they're not charging it for anything, they're not putting any of the DLC that was in, like, not putting up like a fake PlayStation store up, right? And giving away stuff for free. As long as they're not charging people for access to the servers, I don't see this, obviously, us, we don't see this as a problem. It'll help keep those communities alive and the games active. Um, but we don't know what Sony's stance will be on it yet. I would like to hope that they won't do anything because the PS3, PS3, right? Yeah, that's not up now, or it won't be. A lot of the stuff will be going down in the near future if it's not already down. I don't think that they're emulating games that can be played right now on PS3 if it's still up, or for their online service. So, uh, sorry.
no, it's okay. I'll just cut in here
Yeah,
in that
please.
case. But
I'm
like,
just trying to get my thoughts
I've
together.
I think this is a good thing,
Mm,
assuming Sony doesn't bring it down. I've never been a fan of games like having their own private servers when. Oh, okay, I was gonna say Sony, but which is true. But both Microsoft and Sony, they allow you to do peer to peer, or they allow you to use their servers. But still, some companies still today just are or not persistent, but like just stubborn in the fact that they want to use their own private servers, and then they shut them down, and then you can't play the game anymore.
mm-hmm.
Despite it, they could have programmed peer to peer and never had this problem. Just have it, be able to play online forever.
Yeah.
But like the prime example, not that I play any of their games or I don't even like sports in general, but I know for a lot of EA games, EA sports games, they'll be like, okay, here's FIFA, like whatever, like 17. Oh, by the way, it's going to close in 2019. So we're going to force you to buy the new version of our game because we own the servers and we're purposely going to close it like after a couple of years. It's like, why? Like,
Mm.
well, I know why, because
Yeah,
as I
of course.
said, they want you to buy the new version of the game. But even when that's not the case in situations like this, when like I think they use like the examples here were like Motor Storm, Warhawk, SOCOM, Confrontation, Wipeout HD. Like these are, they don't have that kind of insidious purpose. Like we want to force them to buy the new version, but they're still programmed in such a way that fans can't enjoy them now. Because
Hmm.
yeah, servers cost money to maintain. Gotcha, understand that. But like I don't expect these servers to be up like 100 years from now, right? That doesn't make
No,
sense.
of course not.
But like at the same time, why kind of cut yourself short, or at least cut the game short? Like just make it peer to peer. I think that should be a standardized practice. Now, like you can't force them to do peer to peer, right? But that should be what companies do,
Yeah.
because the more fans play your game, even if it's one you're not making much money off of, they still have you in mind for the most part, like who made the game. And if they enjoy this game, they'll probably pick up, well, not probably, but good chance that at some point in the future they'll want to eventually pick up like a newer version of the game, once you even if it's not the same game. Like if you're playing like a shooter game, oh hey, this company they made this other shooter game, maybe I should give that a shot, that sort of
Right.
thing, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yeah, like hopefully, because these games and the servers aren't gonna be up forever if they're not already down. So, like, and the games, as far as we know, aren't being remastered and being put on other systems. It's Sony. They're not going to be. They're not backwards compatible. It's the only way to play these games is on that console. So,
Hmm.
it'd be nice if more companies went out and said, yeah, we're updating it. Here's how you can play online, with your friends, or peer to peer, like you said, or we don't mind if you emulate, a server. Just make it not for profit, right, or whatever. Hopefully hopefully this isn't taken down for those fans of these games. Uh, like hopefully either we hear nothing from Sony, or Sony says that's fine for yada yada games or whatever, right? Either official statement of it's fine or no statement at all because I think no statement at all is better. Just so that no, actually, a statement would be like I don't know. As long as they don't shut it down. That's what I'm trying to get at. Please don't shut it down for those who are trying to do this. They're also trying to
Mhm.
get a bunch of other games up, but slow working, trying to get some of these up and running. Uh, but it's good. It's only good for us if they keep it up. Keep it up and keep it going.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, not really much else to say aside from that. I don't think.
yeah, I think we got one more. We'll do that, and we'll be ending at around our average time here. Um, that Warner Brothers Smash clone, it's real.
Yeah,
It's
not doesn't
happening.
surprise me.
Like
As soon as I saw this one with like SpongeBob, no, not the
the
WB. What's the other one? The Nickelodeon one.
yeah, Nickelodeon.
Doesn't surprise me at all at this point.
It
Does not
just seemed
surprise me.
it just seemed weird Warner Brothers wanting to do one with all the different IPs. Like the live action stuff, the DC comic stuff, and then all the cartoon stuff. It just seemed weird.
Yeah,
I was afraid that the art style would clash, and some of it does. Like the is it Steven Universe characters? Because they obviously have to still look like those characters, but Batman actually doesn't look too out of place. It looks weird, Arya Stark, Arya Stark in
Arya.
that
Yeah,
thing. I look at that and go, "Is that supposed to be her?" But I guess it's close enough. It's so weird that they're doing it. I did see one screenshot that said, "Yeah, some of these people do know some of the memes going into this because they showed it looked like Shaggy powering up Super Saiyan." So
that's been a joke meme for a while,
I
actually.
know,
Believe it or not.
but the fact that they're doing that, so I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it'll be there'll be some fun in this for people. It's just I don't know who the devs is. I actually missed that. I'll have to look into it, but it might actually be decent.
Let's find out. Well, by the way, multiverse is planned for everything on launch when it launches next year. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and PC. So,
Oh wow,
and it has crossplay on launch. So
that is
there you go.
actually nice too. So they're going full in, at least in trying to get out there everywhere and having everyone play. Because
Yeah.
I would assume that this is going to be a more niche one or around the same niche as the Nickelodeon one. Yeah,
Surprisingly, it's not. Sorry, it's not coming out for Switch. Actually, that's not really surprising because Smash Brothers exists on that console, right? So never mind. I take that back.
yeah. I don't know if
So
the
yeah,
Nickelodeon one is on Switch. Is it?
I'm not
Actually,
sure. I'm not sure.
I don't remember. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there as the last one to say, yeah, it's those rumors were not fake. It is coming out, and all the anywhere from live action to the cartoons is all going to be tossed in here. Comic books, TV shows, everything.
Hmm.
Whatever they could toss in there, it's just going to be weird. It's weird. It's weird. Hopefully, it's fun. Hopefully, it is. I don't think I'm playing it. I'm not into Smash really. Like if I was to play one, it would be Smash because they've got characters there that I like Simon.
Simon Belmont.
Yeah,
Okay.
Simon's in there and Pikachu's in there.
Yep.
Who else do I play as? The Dragon Quest hero, whatever they call him.
Hero.
I want to say that all the Dragon Quest characters are named Hero unless otherwise stated, because they usually don't give them names in the game. If you didn't know that, they just kind of leave it blank. It's not like the Pokemon game, or it's Pokemon, no, like Final Fantasy that where they usually have a name already, right? Dragon Quest is usually just a blank name.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a joke or whatever that the Dragon Quest heroes are always named Hero.
Mhm.
Anyway, I think that's it. Unless if you had one.
No, that's kind of not. I just had that one Cloud voice actor story, but no,
Hmm.
that's it. That's it for me. I'm out of stories for this week.
All right, I think that's it. We're gonna get going here, and we got probably uh some stuff to do, like watch Cowboy Bebop. I think is out now.
Yes, that I think so too. Apparently, they said it was. Oh, I know you know who Maximilian is, but he said he watched the first 4 episodes and he said it was okay. Wasn't
Yeah,
like the greatest thing ever, but he said it was okay.
I heard that's too. It's awful. So we'll wait and see.
Oh,
I
really?
saw a
Huh.
screenshot of someone, I won't say, and I was like, I don't know if I like or not like. We'll have to wait and see. We'll be
Okay.
watching the first bunch of episodes probably tonight, but we'll talk about it as a whole when we're finished it, I think. But
Sounds good to me.
we're gonna take off here. You can catch me on Twitter at CShabang. That's CSCHABANG. On YouTube under MrPrinceKaboom. I'm doing at least once a week, putting up my Chroma Squad videos when I edit them. And I sometimes post my live stream, I cut stuff on there. And whenever I could get a chance to, very late at night or early mornings, I stream on Twitch on Prince_Kaboom. And Zorb, where can they find you if they want to?
Twitter and Twitch, same thing. Zorb_Zex. Um, yeah, I stream on Twitch on my channel at least 2 times a week. You know, like I stream with you and someone else on your channels
Mm,
as well, but on my channel specifically, yeah. Ever since I got this new job, it's only been a couple times a week, but hopefully that'll change soon. I haven't had a set schedule yet, but I have been posting my schedule, my weekly schedule on my Discord. So yeah, you guys can find me on there. You can get that link from my Twitch page if you want to go there first, and then you'll be able. It's just at the bottom of my info section. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So and yeah, we're playing on my stream. We're playing Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location with a heartbeat monitor, and then we're also playing Hollow Knight 100%. So they've
nuts.
been both really good games.
Yeah, and we'll see tonight. I don't know. But I'll be continuing my Nuzlocke run. 2 Pokemon down, 2 gyms down. We'll see if we can keep that trend up.
You know what I recommended to another streamer playing a Pokemon game, Chris? You could actually like if you have both versions, if you bought the combo pack, you can do one on stream and one off stream. Because then you don't have to wait for the stream to get your Pokemon niche.
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to spend $170 on the dual pack.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? So
That's fair.
I did contemplate it. But yeah, we got that going on. And if you guys want, we've got like, the YouTube VODs going up for the podcast, which will be in the show notes. Same with like a Discord if you want to jump in there, chat things up, maybe talk about or drop in some newsy stuff. You go check that out. All that info should be down in the description slash show notes. So you can find us all there. Hopefully it's all updated properly. If not, yell at me. But I guess,
You heard him, guys. Yell at him. You have his permission.
yeah. But thanks, guys, for checking us out. Until next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye, guys. See you next week, Chris.
See you next week, Shawn. Or in a few minutes.
Yes.